United Republic of Tanzania, the land of the Kilimanjaro, the Serengeti and Zanzibar, is strategically located as a gateway to East Africa and the African Great Lakes region. A rising star, Tanzania is a middle-income country that has averaged 7% economic growth over the last decade. It has a population of about 60 million, the majority of whom are young and economically active, and part of a rapidly growing middle class. Accessible through the Indian Ocean, Tanzania connects to 6 landlocked countries. It also offers access to a sizable market of about 177 million people in the East African community and 350 million people in the SADC region.
Welcome to Tanzania, the land of opportunities. The government is committed to maintain and strengthen ties with the international community. We'll continue to maintain good governance, political and economic stability, which have been our national values. The government is undertaking a number of legal and regulatory reforms to unlock the country and make it potential investment destination. These reforms include investment tax and information technologies regimes. The government is focusing on improving coordinated infrastructure, not limited to cleaner energy provision, railways, roads, ports, and optical fiber network. All these will add to the improvement of investment environment. As we open doors to the world, we believe that with efficient transport system, enough and affordable electricity, coupled with friendly regulatory regime, Tanzania is offering the best opportunity for investors to thrive. Welcome to Tanzania, the land of opportunities.
The Tanzania Investment Center hosts more than 10 government investment facilitation institutions, offering a one-stop center that can give approvals, permits, and licenses all under one roof, easing the process and saving time and other resources pertaining to setting up a business in Tanzania. Agriculture is the mainstay of Tanzania's economy. There are over 44 million hectares of arable land, and only 33% of them are under cultivation. Some of the potential areas to invest in include sugarcane plantations, cotton, coffee, tea, cashew nut and grape farming, horticulture farms, sisal plantations, wheat plantations, as well as bean and cassava farms. One can also invest in the processing of these crops for export.
Tanzania is the second largest livestock producer in Africa, but only 1% of the livestock is processed into value added. About 70% of the high-end value-added meat products are imported. There are very few companies in Tanzania like this which are producing value-added products for the industry. So there is huge potential here in Tanzania.
The manufacturing sector is in its infancy stage, with few exploited areas, whereby unprocessed agricultural commodities have dominated major exports. Tanzania's Vision 2025 envisages an industrialized economy powered by the manufacturing sector, and as such, opens up the country to potential investment, particularly in the area of textile and apparel, sugar, leather, edible oils, heavy industries, pharmaceuticals, tile manufacturing, cable, and plastic manufacturing. A 1,424-kilometer-long coastline, including 3 large lakes, presents a virtually untapped opportunity in fishing. Opportunities lie in deep-sea fishing, fish farming, fish processing, and supply of fishing gear, just to name a few. Tanzania's wealth extends well beyond the surface. Tanzanite, a gemstone found nowhere else in the world, is testament to the country's mineral riches. Other minerals include gold, coal, diamonds, copper, nickel, cobalt, tin, lead, silver, uranium, rare earth metals, ruby and sapphire. Investment opportunities exist in the areas of exploration, mining and processing. Tucked away in Tanzania's 48.1 million hectares of forests and woodlands is investment gold. One can invest in industrial plantations, and commercial harvesting can be done in 20 million hectares, equal to 35% of the total volume of forests in the country. Discoveries of significant natural gas reserves in recent years present an opportunity to invest in LNG extraction, further adding to Tanzania's long list of investment opportunities. Doesn't end there. The country's helium deposits in the west of the country are large enough to meet the world's demand for the gas for 20 years. Tanzania is a tourist paradise. New accommodation, entertainment facilities, camping, lodges, and guest houses of international standards. All these are untapped opportunities. Connectivity is key to Tanzania's ambitious growth objectives. The country has invested heavily in the development of its infrastructure, including road networks, railways, air travel, and ports, which connect all regions in Tanzania, as well as 6 landlocked countries. And in ensuring a conducive investment climate, the government has invested in the Julius Nyerere hydropower station, expected to generate 2,115 megawatts, providing reliable and affordable electricity for the entire country. While in Tanzania, investors can enjoy prosperous living in the bustling cities and in the countryside. One can access world-class amenities such as schools, state-of-the-art hospitals that are fast turning the country into a premier medical tourism destination, as well as financial institutions. Having reached middle-income status, the Tanzanian government aims at soaring even higher, establishing the country as a favorable investment destination and an industrialized nation that provides a high quality of life to all its citizens. Due to very attractive opportunities and favorable conditions, major international brands have already invested in Tanzania as part of their strategy to maximize on wider regional markets and other opportunities. Come and invest in Tanzania.
Good morning, everyone. Hope you can hear me okay. I look like I'm frozen.
We can hear you.
Hear me okay? Well, good morning. Hopefully all is well with everyone. I apologize for a few little glitches this morning with my camera, but I am Kevin Price. I'm President and CEO of the National Institute of Minority Economic Development based in Durham. And we're excited to have you all join us for a few moments this morning just to talk about this amazing opportunity with Tanzania. And my job is to just kind of moderate this conversation this morning and start off by sharing our agenda and what we plan to cover this morning. So I will share a little bit of information about the Institute this morning. I'll be followed by my colleague, Rhonda Pierce, who represents Sister Cities International, and she'll share some information with you. My dear friend, Syed Nyinge, will also talk about why Tanzania and this opportunity at this particular time. So I'm looking forward to hearing from Syed. He'll be followed by Leah Henry, who is our leader for the Research, Policy, and Impact Center at the Institute. Just to give a little bit of information about data and what we see as overall information about the U.S. I'll come back and talk a little bit about who should attend this session or this summit in Tanzania. And Rhonda will give you a little bit more information about some of the logistics that you can expect while you're there. We'll follow that up with some next steps and then Q&A. And so I will suggest to you all, as we go through the presentation, feel free to jot in the chat any questions you may have, so you don't have to wait until the end. We have several team members who will be monitoring the chat, and we'll be prepared to answer questions at the end. And so just a level set about the Institute. This is our 38th year of business, as many of you know. We have a community development financial institution that is also a part of us. And we recently launched a third nonprofit, which is Institute Community Development Initiative, which will be a community development corporation supporting other CDCs across the state of North Carolina. We continue to be focused on strengthening the asset base of diverse populations through our policy work that Leah leads, education, and providing economic opportunities. That's really why we're here and why we do what we do, is to make sure you all have opportunities to grow your businesses and provide a much more stable life for all of us and a much more robust economy. We focused a whole lot on domestic opportunities. And so this presents a huge new opportunity for us to look abroad, and what better place for us to start than Tanzania. And so the right side shows you a little bit of our footprint, but I won't belabor that and just share with you in terms of what our role is in this process. And I think of it in three key pieces. We're really the collaborator of bringing groups together, both on the corporate side, the government side, as well as diverse businesses who've expressed interest in working together. When I met with Ambassador Kanza from Tanzania, one of the things she said was, I'm looking to do more business with diverse-owned businesses. And so here's a way for us to connect you and provide those avenues of opportunity. But we're also here to make sure you have proper alignment, meaning when those opportunities come available, you have us as a sounding board, you have us providing technical assistance, which is what we do, and we can be your support system long-term. So I don't want you all to think this is a one-off. We're gonna go to Tanzania, we're gonna visit, have a great time, a great big party, and then it's over. That is not the intent of this. The intent is to do business on the continent and in the country of Tanzania. So this is a long-term relationship. So I'm looking forward to that. And then lastly, to support the diverse business community with whatever you need. And if that is bringing more government resources to you so you know what's available, we will help facilitate that. If that is making sure you have financial resources so you can grow your business, so you're prepared for procurement opportunities when they come, we'll be here to help you with that through our CDFI. So we're trying to be as holistic in our solution as possible so we can support you on your journey. And now I'm going to turn it over to Rhonda Pierce to share a little bit more information with you.
Thank you, Kevin. Good morning, everyone. I am board director of Sister Cities International and a country representative to Tanzania for Sister Cities. Sister Cities is a volunteer citizen diplomacy organization that was founded by President Dwight Eisenhower in 1956. It brings peace through people to people and municipality to municipality relationships. This is done through partnerships between cities in the United States and cities around the world. Currently, Sister Cities has 8 U.S. cities that are sister cities to 6 Tanzanian cities. Our collaboration with the Institute, particularly with this Tanzanian Economic Development Summit, fulfills our sister city MOU with the United Republic of Tanzania and the objectives of expanding business-to-business partnerships in the areas of trade and investment. With that said, the summit is designed to connect U.S. minority and women-owned businesses and Tanzanian corporates. also to collaborate with U.S. corporations that are interested in doing business in Tanzania. Kevin, and provide information regarding trade and investment processes in Tanzania. Our collaborative organizations are, of course, Sister Cities International, but also the Tanzanian Embassy, the American Chamber of Commerce in Tanzania, the U.S. Department of Commerce, the U.S. Department of State, and the U.S. Embassy in Dar es Salaam. This webinar is ending today. Anyone that did not, any of your networks that were not able to attend, there are recordings on the website for National Institute of Minority Economic Development. So you can still get the information out. We are looking forward to having new information sent to you in webinars starting in May. So we will be communicating particularly to those that have joined. We will communicate with you directly so you know the upcoming dates. But between now and March 2025, we will have some additional webinars on different topics. Our target industries are healthcare, manufacturing, technology, agriculture, and travel and tourism. So it is now an honor for me to introduce Syed Nyenge, the economic officer of the Tanzanian Embassy. He is an expert in trade, investment, and multilateral corporations. Syed?
Thank you, Londa, for the kind introduction. My name is Syed Nyenge. I'm a Counselor Economic Affairs at the Embassy. So today I'll take you through to why you should consider to trade and do business with Tanzania, and also why that decision should be now. And I will also share some numbers related to trade and investment outlook of Tanzania. So the first question is, why Tanzania? So Tanzania is the fastest growing economies in sub-Saharan Africa. The growth before the pandemic, the economy was growing at the average of 6.9%, and currently we are recovering, and the growth now is at 5.3%. And in the past 2 years, our GDP grew from 69.9 billion in 2021 to 85.4 billion in 2023. And the IMF projects that Tanzania's economy will grow up to $136.1 billion by 2028. That will make Tanzania the biggest economy in East Africa. The other reason to why you should consider Tanzania is a very stable and peaceful country, and we have very strong macroeconomic performance. For instance, the inflation rate that we have in Tanzania is about 3%, and we also have a booming and young and capable population, which account for 75% of our population. So when you do business with Tanzania, you have access to a sizable market that is from domestic market, which has a population of 61.7 million people. But also Tanzania is a member of 2 economic blocs, the East African Community and SADC. And these 2 economic blocs, they have a combined GDP of $823 billion. And Tanzania is also a member of Africa Continental Free Trade Area, which has a GDP of $3.4 trillion, and the population now is close to 1.4 billion people. You can see the size of the market. But Tanzania is also a gateway to 8 countries. We border with 8 countries, and of these 8 countries, 6 are landlocked. So if you trade or do business with Tanzania, you have access also to this regional market or countries that borders with Tanzania. Tanzania also offers attractive investment environment. We have a well-balanced package of investment incentive, and the good business environment can be justified by the recent rating by two major rating agencies. In May 2023, Moody's Investor Service assigned Tanzania B2 positive rating, and in June 2023, Fitch Ratings assigned Tanzania B2 positive with stable outlook. I believe this is the right time for you, a corporate executive, to consider investing and trading with Tanzania. And some of the reason is that we as a country have made significant investment in infrastructure, and we have also implemented comprehensive reforms to improve the business environment. Just to give a highlight of what we have done, in the past 2 years, we have abolished over 232 fees and fines that were obstacle to businesses in various sectors. We have also amended 40 laws and regulations, and that was also intended to further improve the regulatory framework. We have established the Tanzania Investors Electronic Single Window System, and that was meant to facilitate trade related applications, from applications, certification, permits, licenses, and authorization. We have also enacted a new investment act in 2022, and this was also intended to facilitate trade and investment. In October last year, Tanzania government and the US government, we signed a commercial dialogue, and this was intended to deepen commercial and investment ties between our two countries and give a platform for private sectors to discuss issues that they consider to be impediment to their doing business. And also in 2023, we signed an MOU with US Exim Bank that amounting to 500 million, and this was intended to facilitate access to finance to American companies that want to export to Tanzania. And now we are in a very final stage of negotiating an MOU with NIMED, our partner in this summit. And this was also to make sure that we have a very strong engagement framework so as to deepen trade. In terms of the sectors that we target, I wish to share with you what Tanzania can offer, from agriculture sector, travel and tourism, technology, manufacturing, and healthcare. So in agriculture sector, Tanzania is a country which has the largest arable land in Eastern Africa. We have 44 million hectares of arable land, of which 29.4 is suitable for agriculture. Tanzania is an African major producer of a number of crops. We are among top 5 producer of rice, coffee, tea, cloves, cashew nut, and dry beans. We rank second in terms of production of honey in Africa. And in last year, our export revenue from agriculture sector amounted to $1.2 billion US. In travel and tourism, Tanzania is ranking #1 in Africa and 12 in the world in terms of natural-based tourism, and this is according to World Economic Forum report of 2021. We are glad that US is our major source of international tourists outside Africa, and in 2023 we collected revenue amounted to $3.2 billion, and this shows how important is this sector to the economy in Tanzania. In the technology sector, Tanzania is currently positioning itself as a regional hub for ICT. We have invested heavily in infrastructure, especially optical cables. We have put in place about 8,310 kilometers long fiber optics. We also ranked #2 and first in East Africa in terms of effective use of ICT in delivery of public services. And this was according to the World Bank report of 2022. In manufacturing, so Tanzania, we are also taking serious the manufacturing sector, and one of the areas that has potential is apparel and textile. And just to give a sense of how this sector is big, Tanzania is the fourth largest producer of cotton in Africa, and we rank fourth in the world in terms of production of organic cotton. We are already exporting textile products to the United States through AGOA. So if you invest or do business with Tanzania, especially in value addition, you have a ready market in the United States. And the last sector is the health sector. This is one of the sector which has a big potential for traders, because we currently import about 80% of medicines, 90% of medical devices, 100% of diagnostics. And Tanzania, we have government agency, which is called Medical Store Department, which is a back supplier of countries in the SADC region. So if you trade through Tanzania, you have access to the SADC market. And in Tanzania alone, we spend about $800 million to $1 billion per annum for importation of medical and medical equipment. In terms of statistics, our outlook of external trade sector of Tanzania. Tanzania is a net importer. That means we import more than we export. But in terms of export in 2022, just to give you a number, we exported product and services amounted to $11.59 billion. And I think services, goods were the leading. We exported goods amounted to $6.82 billion, and the services amounted to 4.76. And we imported products and services amounted to $16.95 billion, and good imports amounted to $15.65 billion, and services amounted to $1.32 billion. Our major export are gold, tanzanite, coffee, cashew nut, horticultural product, tobacco, cloths, rice, textile and apparel, travel, and transportation. In terms of our major trading partners, on the export sector, India is a leading, followed by South Africa. We have United Arab Emirates, Kenya, Switzerland, China, Democratic Republic of Congo, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, and others. In terms of import, I think China is a leading, followed by the United Arab Emirates, then India, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, Japan, Kenya, the United States. So United States is one of our import markets, and I think this is the area of interest to all of the corporate executive in this call. We also trade with Turkey, Germany, and others. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Saeed. After we heard all of those terrific statistics, I'm just going to give a brief overview of some current data on top U.S. exports to Tanzania, and then top Tanzanian exports to the U.S. And we wanted to highlight that in addition to the opportunities for import and export of goods, there's also tremendous opportunities in services, providing services, particularly services that will contribute to the development of people and economic development projects on the ground in Tanzania. So when we look at the top 10 U.S. exports in Tanzania, as provided by the U.S. International Trade Administration, transportation equipment is clearly by far and away the largest group. And so this is going to be vehicles not just for transportation of people, but also of goods and related to industry and manufacturing. Then we have machinery, chemicals, agricultural products, computer and electronic products, processed food and paper, and then some relatively small amounts of petroleum and coal products, used merchandise. We've had folks ask about the used merchandise market there, and then other special classification provisions, which I won't pretend to know what is involved in that, but we can certainly dig into it. And so what we want to highlight here is that there's tremendous opportunities for growth. And then when we look at the top 10 US imports from Tanzania, apparel and accessories is by far and away the top. Miscellaneous manufactured items, we saw a lot of great examples of manufacturing that's happening there. Agricultural products, forestry, once again, a group of special classification. And then some fairly small amounts of chemicals, waste and scrap wood products as opposed to forestry products. And then processed foods, machinery, except electrical. And I wanted to highlight for processed foods, one of the issues I know in East Africa and a lot of other places is that there's tremendous agricultural production going on, but folks do not have the wherewithal to process, package, and ship out as a value-added product. So not only are there opportunities to import raw materials in terms of agricultural products, but to provide packaging and processing capacity on the ground.
Thank you, Leah and Syed. I appreciate you all providing this data to us because it's important that you all understand what Tanzania needs and what we have been providing to Tanzania currently. And to Leah's point, you notice there are lots of holes in terms of where there's opportunity. Many of you on this call may have noticed that your particular product or service wasn't listed as one of the products we're providing to Tanzania currently. But if you were listening to Syed, it's something they need. And so all of you were intentionally invited to come to this because I know many of you, and I know what you provide, and that the country could use what you provide. So I hope you all heard that and understand where you can fit into this opportunity. And so as we think through how you fit in, we've really broken it into these three categories of participants for this trip. The Gold Key Group is a very small group of individuals or companies that the U.S. Department of Commerce will vet very closely. Generally, they already have some international experience. Generally, they tend to have several years under their belt of operations. These are companies that the Department of Commerce will walk with you along the entire process, help you set up meetings with government and corporate buyers, and just be there as your direct support system. So that's why it's a very small group. And I would encourage you all to apply if you're interested in being a part of the Gold Key Group. Most of you will be in the general attendee group. And if you've attended our executive networking conference, that experience will be very similar for Group 2 as our executive networking conference. That'll be the largest group, and over 2 days of business sessions, it will be very similar to what you would see at ENC, and I'll talk more about that in a moment. That third group are our stakeholders. So many of you are city council members. We've got several mayors that have expressed interest in going. We have a congresswoman who has expressed interest in going. So we know we're going to have a group of government leaders that will be with us, as well as business leaders and business owners, as well as what I call intermediaries, who are organizations that either certify or provide technical assistance and counseling to diverse business owners. Many of you, I already know, wear several hats. And that's great because you'll be able to give some feedback as well as learn some additional things yourself. So it should be a well-rounded trip and worthwhile for you. The dates. We changed the date. If you all remember, some of you I talked with early on, we were trying to do this in July of this year, which was incredibly aggressive. We heard from you all, as well as our corporate partners, that that was a bit too aggressive because you needed a little bit more time to save up a few dollars for this and put it in your budgets for next year. So we moved it to March 10th through the 14th of 2025. Our host city will be Dar es Salaam, and we've already chosen the hotel, which is Hyatt Regency, because I thought it was important that you at least had some American familiarity while you're in the country. So that's why we chose an American hotel. The way this will unfold over the 5 days is day one is travel to Tanzania. Day two is more focused on Tanzania. So we'll have the Tanzanian government, local and national government representatives there. Ambassador Kanzo will be there, as well as others, to talk about how do you do business in Tanzania, what you can expect, what some of the cultural differences may be, as well as legalities, fees, and things of that nature. So you'll get a well-rounded understanding from Tanzania of how to do business in the country. Day three is the opposite. You'll hear from more U.S. Government officials, as well as Ambassador Battle, who is physically located in Tanzania. His team and many other government officials at the federal level will be there to talk with you about how the U.S. government can support you, provide resources to you, business intelligence to you. There are also grants available in each of your states. And so I would encourage you to apply for that. And I believe Rhonda may give you a little bit more information on that here shortly. But I would encourage you to look at that. Now, we do plan to identify some opportunities for grants, but just keep in mind, you may have some locally within your own state. Day four is more about cultural experience. Ambassador Kanza thought it was very important that you all get to experience the culture and the arts of Tanzania as well, and not just be all strictly business, but have an opportunity to immerse yourself a little bit in the culture. So we've identified 3 opportunities for you all to participate in. You'll get to choose one of those and really immerse yourself in the experience of the country. So we're excited about that. That night, we will all get together and celebrate and enjoy what we've experienced over the last few days. And then day 5, we're returning back to the U.S. I want to reiterate, though, when we get back, our work isn't over. We want to continue to stay engaged with you and support you with any additional connections you may need, any resources you may need to begin to do business there or grow your business in the country. So just keep that in mind. And Rhonda, I think you're coming back.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. This is exciting. We're wanting to just prepare you for those that are interested in coming. The cost estimate at the moment is $6,000 to $7,000. We're putting together the portal so that you can start registering and booking. It'll be up in the next couple of months. And just so you know what that cost entails is the hotel, the flight, the event registration, the ground transportation, the participant materials, the cultural experience, as Kevin had mentioned. There's the 3 options. You'll be able to choose one. The event meals and reception, the travel agent and event planner fees, the payment options. There will be payment options available. There will be a non-refundable fee that will also apply. just to note that you will have to cover your own visa fees. That's important to be aware that it's $100, but it needs to be done before you, sorry, after your, for your flight. So you need to do that, and it's online. Also, the CDC recommended immunizations that you have that option to do, you're paying for that as well. And then the next slide. Our next steps here in preparation is the following up with a survey. So after this session today, you will have a survey sent out to you automatically that we do ask that you fill it out. This gives us a good understanding of who's coming or at least who's interested in coming and how we can better serve you. We ask that you, again, when the portal is available, the launch date right now is for June. When that becomes available, we ask you to register. Your information will be provided to the travel agent to assist you with travel arrangements. We are again encouraging you to apply for your visa. This is like a requirement from the Tanzanian government in order to come, and that you also complete your CDC recommendations. Thank you. So we're ready now for Q&A. And we have some, Kevin, already. I'll just start out with the first one is they have a print and marketing business, and they're asking what opportunities are available for office supplies and what products are needed. And this question, I believe, is suited for Syed to answer. Syed.
Yeah, thank you, Rhonda. Yes, we do offer a lot of opportunities in terms of office supply in Tanzania. And I think one of the area corporate executive may take advantage of is just one of the area is office furniture and stationery. So you can have a corporate supply contract with a number of corporate that exist in Tanzania, from office furniture to stationaries to schools. And I think once you visit Tanzania, and one of the aspects will be matchmaking, and that will be one of the area you can explore. But there is a lot of opportunities, especially in furniture, stationaries, and office supplies. That was question number one.
Yes, and then the next question is, what is contributing to peace and stability? And what are the demographics in terms of the 18 to 40-year-olds?
Okay, I think what I believe, the power of language. Tanzania has more than 125 tribes, that is ethnic groups, but we are all unified by the national language, Kiswahili. So any Tanzanian, regardless the ethnicity, should speak Swahili. And through that Swahili, we have been unified, and I think Tanzania is the most peaceful. We have not experienced any kind of ethnic uprising. And another aspect which contribute to the stability, we are a democratic country, and we uphold ourselves to the rule of law. And I think everyone is satisfied with that framework. So in terms of demographic structure, Tanzania is one of the youngest countries in Africa. So if you look at the population structure, about 75% of the population is the people of age not exceeding 35 years. And we have a population of 61.7 million people. That is according to our national census of 2022.
Thank you, Syed. The next question is to provide more information on used goods and service marketed. We know that this was really big on especially our very first webinar that they asked, and I know that the embassy provided details around that. Is that one that we can, after the call, we'll just provide the Q&A and you can respond to that, or do you want to speak to that now?
No, I can just highlight one area, which is because now that is existing opportunity. US is exporting used clothes, worn clothes, and shoes to Tanzania. So whoever in that business, Tanzania is one of the market for worn clothes and shoes for men, children, and women.
Okay, thank you. The next question is around the visa, and yes, you will need a visa along with your passport. So that's why we're encouraging you to have your visa application submitted online. Just so you're aware, though, you need your flight information. So just know that that comes hand in hand. And more information will be provided when you register.
And Rhonda, or Syed, can you all share with them how far out they need to apply for the visa? Because in their time frame.
Yes, there is. The visa actually can be done, to be honest, on site. So it just needs to, but we're advising everyone to do it in advance and when you do your flight. That's important that you get it done. Syed, is there a specific time when it comes to online applications? Because I don't know the processing of the online application.
Thank you, Rhonda. In terms of the visa, the US citizens are eligible for multiple entry visa. So that is guaranteed. And our processing time is not more than 10 days. It can take even a day, depending on the nationality of the person, but between 1 day to 10, that should be enough.
Okay, so the answer would be to definitely submit 10 days prior so that you have enough time, and hopefully 15 days, that'd give you plenty of time. Okay, and then our last question is there's this person she provides travel and event planning along with production services. And when it comes to tourism, what opportunities are needed? Syed?
Yeah, so we have a range of opportunities. One is, I've said, US is our leading international source of leading source of international tourists outside Africa. So we need agents to connect the tourists from the United States to Tanzania. So I think he's in the right space, but if he is also considering investing in Tanzania, one of the areas that we are working hard to attract investment is building infrastructure around the hotels, conference facility, because we want to make Tanzania a tourist destination. So these are some of the areas. So we have deficit in hotels. We need also conference facilities and also logistics. There is opportunities around logistics.
Thank you.
We are happy to share more information after this call.
If I might add to that, you all, I think for many Americans who are traveling to Africa, we tend to focus on West Africa. And so for many of us who visit the continent, we're somewhere in the Western Africa area because for many of us, we believe that's where our roots are. And so we tend to visit those countries much more frequently, but we forget that the continent is huge, huge. And we often overlook East Africa. And so I think this is an opportunity for us to explore a different part of the continent that we rarely get to see and engage in. So just keep that in mind from a travel and tourism perspective. There are major opportunities in East Africa because everyone's focused on the western side of the continent. The other thing I'll mention is while this is the last scheduled session, we will have additional sessions scheduled later in the year to Rhonda's point. Some of them are going to be very tailored in terms of now that we have a pretty extensive list of individuals who've expressed interest. You all are going to get a survey after this. I would encourage you to respond to the survey because it informs us in terms of how we need to tailor some of those follow-up sessions around your particular industry and the opportunities you're looking for. And so there'll be many more sessions later this fall. We will ask everyone to come to a final session, probably somewhere around December, and talk with you about, okay, here's what you need to be prepared for as we now get into our last phase of preparing for the trip. For those of you who attend the Executive Networking Conference, that's scheduled this year from August the 5th through the 7th in Pinehurst. Ambassador Khanz, I believe, is planning to attend this year. And we will have another session at ENC about Tanzania and what to expect and things like that. So I would encourage you to attend the Executive Networking Conference as well.
And maybe to add, Kevin, you said, and this is, I'm not, I mean, just the fact, if you are visiting Africa and you are not visiting eastern part of Africa, I think you are missing a lot because East Africa has a lot to offer, different from other countries. For instance, just in Tanzania. So if you enjoy beaches, then we have white beaches in Zanzibar. You can hardly find them in elsewhere in this world, especially other part of Africa. So if you are interested to climb mountains, then we have the highest mountain in Africa, Mount Kilimanjaro, is in Tanzania. So if you like safari, we have specific areas such as the Serengeti National Park, where you can witness migration of wildebeests. Over 1.5 million annually. They migrate between Serengeti and North Mara. You cannot find this anywhere. So if you go to Ngorongoro, there is a magic because at the top of a volcanic mountain, there is a big crater and there is different animals in that crater. And that is very specific and you cannot find there elsewhere in Africa.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Syed. And, you know, I think it's going to be very difficult for you all to decide which one cultural experience you want to select. Just based on the three Syed just mentioned, I really want to do them all. And so you won't have time to do them all. Trust me. You're going to have to choose one. And what this may mean is we'll have to have a follow-up trip going back again to talk about additional business and you do another cultural experience. But it's an exciting time, an exciting opportunity that I think all of you will enjoy and find value, both from a business perspective as well as a cultural perspective.
With that said, Kevin, I want a special thanks to some Sister City members here from Toledo, Ohio. We're excited. Toledo, Ohio is looking forward to bringing quite a few to attend. So we're very much excited about their city council is interested as well. So there's a great opportunity. This is a nationwide call out to all of those that are interested in doing business in Tanzania.
Are there any additional questions you all have? So, Joe, the question I see about what types of flights will be available, we're leaving that up to you and the travel agent. And so we initially were trying to charter a jet and have everyone fly together there. We found that to be highly problematic on a number of levels. And my hair is already leaving. I'm trying not to get to Syed's point just yet and cut it all off. Even though that's a good look, Syed, I'm not quite ready for it yet. And so I'm trying to keep, Joe, what little bit of hair I got left. And we thought it might be better for you each to just book your own flights. What we wanted to do to help you with that is we've already selected a travel agent who will help you with that process. They are NMSDC certified and support a lot of the NMSDC corporations. It is a minority woman. She has done many of these types of international trips before. So she has a lot of experience in the space. And she has already worked with several airlines to get us really good pricing. So I think we've got her contact information on our website already. So once the registration portal opens, I would encourage you to go ahead and do the registration, book your air flight, get your visa done, and your immunizations as well. For those of you who haven't looked at your passport in a while, you may want to do that too. And just make sure your passport isn't expired. And if you haven't gotten it, go ahead and get that done as well. Monica, I see you're on. Thank you for being on. Let me see. When would corporations be made aware of the businesses participating? Could we recommend existing businesses to attend? Absolutely. That's what I'm hoping you all will do. I think for many of us, we initially thought we would have somewhere around 160, 180 participants. I think we got a little more cautiously optimistic and said maybe it's better for us to start smaller and grow into that space, which then could potentially offer a plane charter opportunity. We'll see. But I think many of you have your own networks. Many of you have your own connections, your own supply chains, and can see where some of your colleagues could benefit from a trip like this. For many of you whose company is already doing business in Tanzania, I believe this is an opportunity for you to grow your supply chain by connecting them with other opportunities with the Tanzanian government and other corporations. And so I would encourage you to share this information, bring them along with you if you can on this trip so they can benefit from the opportunities. I do plan, Monica, to share this with you. So you'll get more information about the other corporations that are planning to participate as well. I'm working on that. Any other questions you all have? Okay, I'm not seeing any more questions, and it is almost 10 o'clock. So I think we're finishing at a good time. I hope you all are excited about what you've heard. Stay tuned to more information to come soon. And if you all have any additional questions, feel free to reach out to me or to someone on my team who will be happy to answer your questions. But we look forward to seeing all of you in March of 2025. Take care, everyone.